instance of Sage within the notes. So we did section 1, now we're on section 2. I'm going to click this. We did this before. You can run Sage from a terminal, from an application or from this website. I recommend downloading it. Click on the download link. If you're running Windows, click on the GitHub release page for Windows. If you're running OS X, click on the OS X GitHub release. So looking over here again, I think some confusion comes from not reading. And certainly people, they're famous for not reading, by the way. They want to just poke around and click something. So there's a lot of things over here, including source code. I wouldn't go there just yet. So I'm going to say stick with the DMG files, all right? Either the ARM64 or the x86 64. Someone says, which one do I choose? Well, go to the Apple menu, About This Mac, and see what processor you have. For example, the chip. I have an Apple M1, which is an ARM chip. If you have Intel, you have an x86 chip. Let's go back over this. The ARM is going to be like the M1 or M2 chip. The x86 is an Intel chip. I have an ARM chip, so I'd click this link over here and download the file. It's a huge file, though. When you download it, though, it's going to install an application on your computer called Sage. Let's go to that, and that's in my application folder now. So I'm going to go back to my Finder, and Sage is in my application folder, and I double-click it. When I double-click it, it's going to say, how do you want to run it? I prefer running it from a command line. However, there's also the choice of a Jupyter Notebook. You decide. I just like the terminal. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to launch Sage for me. I'm going to go back to my notes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to type this stuff in over here. All right, so let's go back to my terminal. I'm going to reset. I can type that in. I can do the AB variable. It's pretty easy. AB are variables. And I'm getting tired, so I'm going to just copy paste this. Go back to my terminal. And what do I get? I get the answer they say. Now someone says, am I done with that? Can I go into the next section? You're not done. What you just did was you did something that's related to this section of the notes. So what I want to do is I want to scroll back in the notes. And someone says, I wonder what question this was. It was actually question number 17 from the exercises. What answer A6 minus B6? I want to scroll back and see if I've learned anything, though. I'm going to pick a problem that's, I'm going to say fairly easy to type in. And I'm going to scroll back over it. I'm going to take number 2. And what I want to do is I want to clear. All right? And then I want to see if I can remember what to do. Well, I kind of remember doing reset. Remember how to define a variable. The variable I want to define is the variable n now. So n equals a variable, and that variable is n. What am I going to do now? Well, I want to expand, expand, and I got to be careful with the typing business now, right? So it's n minus 5 star n to the second power plus n, plus 2, plus n cubed, and then it's going to be star 5n, 5 star n, yes, it's necessary to put the star in, n squared minus 10. You're going to make mistakes. Nice thing about having a key, though, if I make a mistake, I'm going to see the mistake. And I'm expecting to get that answer over there. And I'm going to look at it. Did I get the right answer? n5 minus 34n cubed, 57n squared minus 20. Things are working as advertised. And you can play around with this now. For example, if you want to do the next one, you'd have to know there's two variables there, a and b. If you want to do the next one, it's more difficult. You'd have to do, well, there's variables here would be x, y. There's also an m and an n in the problem, and then have to be typed in. And you may want to practice that. Practice, are you going to get this answer over here, so forth and so on. The more effort you put in towards using Sage, the better you're going to get. And again, one way to learn Sage is just by playing with it. And I consider this to be somewhat of an activity of playing with it. And you may remember how difficult some of these problems were to do by paper and pencil, and how Sage really streamlines it. What's the worst thing about this, though? You got to type it in. I'm not a very good typist. However, I can kind of type that stuff in and look at it and compare it to the answer I got with paper and pencil. Thank you.